Moral of the story, most of us need some kind of supplementation at some point, and a generic multivitamin usually doesn't cut it. Lab work is the best way to know exactly what you do need, but there are also common signs that indicate deficiency with a particular nutrient, and that is what I help my clients unpack.
Do you struggle to stay consistent with healthy eating and just want food decisions to be easy, guilt-free, and sustainable? You're in the right place. Hi, I'm Chelsea, nutritionist and fitness coach who overcame restrictive yo-yo dieting and body image insecurities using simple nutrition tools, all backed by biblical principles. And now I help women like you find that same freedom with food so you can feel confident in the look and health of your body for decades to come. I'm ready to dive in with you. So grab that cute notebook you've been hanging on to and let's go.
Right now, for a limited time, I am offering personalized nutrition coaching calls, which I am so excited about because this is the best place to start if you want to make healthy changes to your diet, but feel stuck about where to start and how to maintain. This is a 1-hour coaching call with me where you tell me exactly what the struggle with food is, and together we will create a custom plan that works with your schedule, food preferences, takes the pressure off of you to come up with a healthy, delicious, and convenient menu for the week, and leaves you feeling confident about it all. If that sounds like an answer to prayer, hop over to coachrain.com/dietfree to book your coaching session with me. Let me take care of the rest. That's coachreign.com/dietfree. And we'll chat soon. Now, welcome to Nutrition for Christian Women. A question I get a lot as a nutritionist is, do I need to take supplements? If so, which ones? And I'm going to be honest with you right out of the gate. This is a loaded question that I do not have all the answers to. But I have been in the health and wellness world long enough to know a thing or two about supplementation, and I don't want you to be bamboozled by genius marketing or even your friend who swears by a pill or a powder. There is so much out there that it is quite frankly overwhelming to know where to begin. And that's where I come in. The first point I want to make clear is that supplements should always be exactly that, supplementation to fill in a nutritional gap. It should never be the main source of a nutrient. We should always be aiming to get that from real whole foods, which is exactly what I help my clients in the Sustainable Way, my one-on-one nutrition coaching program, do on the daily. However, there is a time and place that we need something to boost us where whole food isn't quite cutting it. One of the main forms of supplementation I use, and I often, not always, but often recommend to my nutrition clients, is protein. Because the fact of the matter is, most of us want a body that has visible muscle definition. We want to be strong and feel toned, and in order to do that, we need to build muscle, which requires a pretty good amount of protein on the daily. Sometimes we get full too quickly or don't have the bandwidth to cook the amount of animal protein we actually need to support our body and fitness goals. So filling in that gap with a protein drink, which digests more quickly, can be really helpful. I also keep protein powder on hand in case I need a quick meal. A meal in a cup is what I call it. So instead of a big salad or a cooked entree, I add all of my diamond meal components to a blender using protein powder as my protein source, and then make a meal that way. Again, this isn't my everyday routine, but it is a really handy way to include more protein when whole food isn't enough. By the way, my favorite brand of protein is Equip Prime Protein. I've used their products for a decade now, And I'm such a fan because they really care about how they source their ingredients, the quality of ingredients. It's not loaded with a bunch of sugar, and I never have digestive issues when I use their stuff. In fact, I am such a loyalist that I asked to be an affiliate so that my clients can get a discount on their products. So I now have a code that will get you a discount on your first order or any subscriptions that I will happily share with you too. Either head to equipfoods.com/Coach Rain or use Coach Rain at checkout. I will also link it in the show notes for you. The other time when supplementation is appropriate is if you are suffering from micronutrient deficiency, which honestly, most of us are. This one is a little trickier to correct and definitely requires a functional medicine doctor who can run some blood panels to see exactly where you may be lacking. I actually did this when I personally was struggling to get my menstrual cycle back after a long hiatus. And the protocol my doctor put me on was robust but targeted, much more direct than a simple multivitamin, which I appreciated. Some common signs that you may be low or deficient in certain vitamins and minerals include chronic fatigue, cravings, brain fog, poor sleep quality, irregular periods, PMS symptoms, and so much more. The reason most of us are low in certain micronutrients is simply because our soils that grow our food are overfarmed and lack the natural vitamins and minerals they once had. We take and take and take from the soil without giving it a chance to rest, and eventually the nutrients will just run out. This is even cited in the Bible. In the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verses 1 through 5, it says, "While Moses was on Mount Sinai, the Lord said to him, 'Give the following instructions to the people of Israel. When you have entered the land I am giving you, the land itself must observe a Sabbath rest before the Lord every 7th year. For 6 years you may plant your fields and prune your vineyards and harvest your crops, but during the 7th year, the land must have a Sabbath year of complete rest. It is the Lord's Sabbath. Do not plant your fields or prune your vineyards during that year. And don't store away the crops that grow on their own or gather grapes from the unpruned vines. The land must have a year of complete rest." Very few mass production farms do this in the Western world, and the result is dead dirt, which grows plants and feeds animals that become low or void of necessary nutrients to fuel us. Side note, this is why regenerative agriculture is on the rise and oh so important. Next time you hear about it, listen up. Now, I am not a doctor, so I do not have the authority to prescribe supplements of any kind. But what I can tell you is that data suggests most of us are deficient in magnesium, vitamin D, all of the Bs, and iron. So if you feel any of the common signs of nutrient deficiency I listed earlier, it may be in your best health interest to get some labs done and see what supplements may be appropriate for you. Which leads me to my next important nugget of information. Most supplement protocols should be short-term. If you have a major deficiency, it may require a somewhat rigorous front-loading of certain nutrients, possibly with a complementary nutrient that aids in absorption, which I think is one of the coolest things God did with our intelligent design, make everything work synergistically. But then it should be tapered off or emphasized through certain foods. Most, not all, but most supplements are helpful for a season and should not be your everyday for the rest of your life. That is the beautiful difference between supporting your body's natural systems and needs and taking medication. So, to reference my experience with my functional medicine doctor who helped me get my period back, I was on a hefty protocol for about 3 months, getting lab work done every 4 to 6 weeks to see if any changes needed to be made. And then I eventually got my period back and backed off the protocol with her guidance. It's like a system had the light switch turned off, so we just needed to reboot it, and now it works wonderfully. And the final point I want to make about supplements is that sourcing matters. This is not an area where you want to hunt for the least expensive option, unfortunately. And that's because you're getting extremely concentrated forms of a single nutrient. It's ideal for boosting a system that's been neglected, but that's not how God created us to consume nutrition. Like I said before, it all works synergistically. And so we want to be ultra diligent in making sure the vitamins and minerals we do take in supplement form are high quality. If your doctor doesn't have a specific brand they recommend, look for nature-derived versus lab-made synthetic versions that are third-party tested and are generally very transparent about what's in their products, where they get their ingredients, how it's put together, all that jazz. Like I mentioned earlier, for all things protein related, so protein powders, collagen, colostrum, I swear by Equip Foods. For other supplements, I am a fan of Thorne products. Now, I'm not affiliated with them at all. I just am a customer who likes their efficacy and has always been happy with their products. There are others I use, but again, I am not a doctor who can prescribe. So if you want a suggestion from a friend who's spent some time in this world, just send me an email or a message on social media. And that is my synopsis on the health and necessity of supplements. Moral of the story, most of us need some kind of supplementation at some point, and a generic multivitamin usually doesn't cut it. Lab work is the best way to know exactly what you do need, but there are also common signs that indicate deficiency with a particular nutrient, and that is what I help my clients unpack. If you'd like some help navigating the wild world of supplementation, so you're not just wasting money on pills and powders that you just end up expelling out without absorbing, head to coachrain.com/dietfree to book your nutrition coaching session with me. That's coachrain.com/dietfree. And let's make your efforts count.
I pray this episode was helpful to you, my friend. If so, could you do me a massive favor and take 30 seconds to write a review? This is the best way to bless me big and help more people learn just how simple eating healthy consistently can be. And if you want more value-packed info from me, head to coachrain.com and sign up for the Weekly Harvest, my weekly emails filled with recipes, how to use food as medicine, biblical nutrition, and more. That's coachreigen.com for the Weekly Harvest. Blessings until next time, sis. Toodles.